Hi, Mary. It's great to catch up with you again.
It's a pleasure, Michael, always.
Thanks. And, you know, I was remembering back in the early days of what has now become Beyond Being Human. I met you at a UFO group meeting, one of the regular meetings that we had in Sydney. We chatted, and then I had that angelic encounter. I called you up after that happened, which I think was only about a month after the UFO meeting. Yeah, do you think that's right?
Yes, absolutely. It was very soon after.
It's like, that's a coincidence. And you said to me, oh, you know, be open to the idea that maybe it was an extraterrestrial. And I've sort of reached into that, explored it, and I haven't done a regression. Maybe we should do a regression sometime. So shortly after that, I invited you to join with me in the first presentation in a private house that I was invited to tell about my experience, but also about the entire kind of extraterrestrials and hybrids and all of that. And you most generously came in for a couple of hours, and you know, we co-hosted this presentation, and so I wanted to thank you for that.
You're most welcome.
And so what are you up to now?
Well, I've never been so busy, and I'm not sure whether that's a good thing or not, but what I'm up to really is supporting so many that are coming forward that have had experiences sometimes all their life that they're aware of, and wanting to understand more of who they are, why they're here, and the sense that many of them have come and said, well, you know, this doesn't feel like home. My home feels more like it's in the stars. I want to understand why that is the case and what I'm connected to and who I am. And because I feel I'm here with a mission and a purpose, and I want to know that I'm on track. So for many, it's become a spiritual explosion almost. Since this is all, you know, this reality of ours is being challenged on so many levels. So for me, it's been even though it's been a very challenging time, it's also been an amazing time for people to start really looking at their lives. What matters to them has really come to the fore. And they've realized, many of them, that they've not been able to see what, because of circumstances, what really is important in their lives. So that for me has been wonderful. And many of them seem to be very aware now that there is some major happening on this planet in terms of human consciousness. And and at Christmas time particularly, it's become the message more than any kind of story around it. It's been the message, and that we call the Christ consciousness, which is the most important thing of all, that we are here to bring love, to bring compassion. And this has been the ultimate understanding of many of them. And the beings that they are connecting to, their star family, are really saying the same thing, that this is now about bringing in the frequency of love. And that is, for me, the most wonderful thing. And if I have a moment just to say this, I did a regression very recently of a lady who wanted to know about her experiences on board craft. And she, what was interesting about her case was that some of the people on the craft she recognized as some of her immediate friends and family. And that blew her away, that she could recognize it, because the next day many of them remembered as well, which was even more interesting. But the regression, what was interesting there was she went back to the time of Atlantis. And when she said that they destroyed their world through technology and they were not following the spiritual mandates. So she'd come back to rectify it now with the team. She said, there was a message they gave me, Mary, and I can't remember it. I need to know the message that they gave me, because they told me that I would remember when I needed to. And I'm going to give you a few lines of that message. And it was this. They called themselves the teachers, and some of them are the Arcturian Council. And she said, they said, we're your parents and you are our children. To evolve, one is to choose correctly the love frequency above fear and greed, open hearts and unity, because the darkness will try and divide. We need to wake up the people to show them that they have a choice to serve for the greater good, not fear and ignorance. Namaste. Earth will be part of the galactic community, no longer in fear, which is an illusion, and to rise above it and to see the lie. Service to others and lead by example. Time is short. Evolve and choose correctly. New Earth is bright. You have a place in the galactic future, and we love you. And this was the message that she was given literally only less than a few weeks ago now when I did the regression. So that was the message she was meant to remember. So she's come in from another lifetime, this time, to put right what didn't work last time. And this is what I'm hearing with a number, the past life connection, where they are coming in this time with a different mandate to actually work from this other truth that they've all come in with, which to me is very heartening, because I can tell you very recently, I did another session with a lady who had a similar message that she couldn't remember. And we went back and we actually found out from her, and it's all about the new earth. It's about the fact that we are evolving and the new earth is waiting for us, and we are there to create a new world and new reality. And it's very close. I can't give you the date, but it's very soon, because I'd have to ask her permission for that. But what I can tell you is it's a very similar account of what I've just read to you now. So that's pretty cool.
Absolutely. And well, her people can talk to my people and your people, and let's do a Zoom.
I think for Christmas, the one thing that I've always felt, and it's come through many times, we're talking about a Christ consciousness that is beyond any sort of belief system, in the sense that it is universal. And that is the consciousness that has always made sense to me. The message, it's been about the message, and the message we all know is about realizing we're all part of each other. And that is what connects us, and we're all from the same place. And there's no division other than that we're all here learning and growing as spiritual beings.
That's why I called the tagline of the event Cosmic Consciousness, because it's gone beyond any particular religion. Essentially, all religions lead to the one God, surely. It's just beginning to get very, very fascinating. Well, it always has been, I guess, but the social movement now, where we've got a lot of people in need, and that's one of the things that I felt coming in contact with someone who really, needed help. And it's served as an example, like, well, there must be so many people in the same kind of situation, but the leaning towards the fear, and then the anger, and then the violence, and then the social division, and then it just escalates and escalates. And it's like, whoa, hang on, we really need to reach out again and realize that we are all souls as part of the Creator. And yeah, we've got to get along.
Well, I think the main thing for me, Michael, is realizing that because somebody thinks differently, where somebody has a different attitude, or not only a different belief, but a different perspective, that is where their soul is at. And there should be no judgment of that, because we're all souls on a learning journey, and we've all changed and grown through our experiences. And what we were 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago is not who we are now. And so we look back and think, well, I used to think that 20 years ago, or I used to think that 40 years ago. But look where I am now with that. And this is the same with everyone. Everyone is in their space of perception and reality and beliefs. And for us, it's to accept that that's part of their growth as much as what we're doing and how we feel with ours. So for me, it's about unconditional acceptance of everyone, no matter where they're at, what they're doing, how they believe, what their understanding is. Because the only way that we're ever going to evolve as a species is to realize and wonder at the difference, and wonder, because it is a wonderful thing to have such diversity, such awareness of how different we can all be, and yet we're all the same on one level, which is a soul.
Yeah. Well, time is tight, unfortunately. I'd love to talk for hours and hours with you, always. And we've got the interview that we did, that'll be coming out shortly. In fact, a lot of the interviews that we've done over the last few months will be coming out on a weekly kind of basis. Thank you again for doing that, Nadi. So your book, The New Human, is it a top seller?
Doing amazingly well, and I always thought it would be too weird and wonderful for people in the mainstream, but I'm being contacted by clinical psychologists, educators, as well as many families that are connecting and relating to that. So I am very, very grateful that the information is getting out there, because that's what it's all about, is sharing information that might in some way help people on their human journey. So I'm just very, very grateful.
And I hear your books are being translated into a whole lot of different languages.
And that's true. In Japan, both Awakening and The New Human, that's Awakening in Japan. Both The New Human and Awakening are in Japanese. My book is also in Portuguese, and this one is actually in Hungarian. I also am waiting to have them published in Spanish, German, and Chinese, but I haven't yet got them formatted and what have you as well. What is beautiful for me is that the recognition of the information of the new humans coming in, the new generations of human, and the interest and acceptance that there is something very significant in terms of our evolving humanity. And that is why I'm so excited about it, because that's a recognition, as far as I'm concerned, that it's being noted across the globe. Yeah,
and you know, it's so good to be able to have them available in all those different languages.
And that's important in terms of getting this out, because so many are experiencing around the globe and having these children. I'm getting emails from Uruguay to Africa to Russia to Alaska. So it's right across the board. And so as many different languages as possible, I think is really, really vital now, so that people can start putting, connecting the dots to their own awareness and their own children.
You really are on the leading edge of all of that. And that book, I mean, when I start reading it, it actually takes me, like, I can read a page a day and that's about it, because it blows my mind. Yeah.
Well, the thing that is important, I think, for us to understand is that even if it's information that challenges you in your reality, that's exactly what it's meant to do. It's to get you to understand there is so much that we don't know that is out there. And just because you don't know about it doesn't make it wrong. It just means you've got more exploring to do. So the book's an exploration of opening. And if it causes some kind of fear, face your fear and say, well, just if this is possible, what does it mean? What does it mean? Because you may find that expands you even more. So we're here to face our fears, face the unknowns. And just because, as I say, you don't know about it doesn't make it not real.
And I went on a big brain stretch, mind stretch after the angelic experience. And, you know, your question really highlighted that. And I've been exploring that ever since. And again, thank you for that. And look, I think we'll wrap up, and Merry Christmas. And I hope you have a nice break, as you know, you're so busy and doing excellent work for everyone. Thank you for sharing your message and your friends and clients' messages as well.
Michael, an absolute pleasure. And also thank you for all that you're doing to bring this information to the greater public, because it's a really important role. And kudos and blessings for doing that.
Thank you. Well, we'll talk again soon.